Hi everybody. We have talked in this community before about the benefits to gardening that we feel. We've talked about our physical benefits, we've talked about mental benefits, and we're exploring that a little more today as we meet with Dr. Nate Charach, a psychiatrist who is also someone very interested in permaculture and who is someone bringing his clinical practice into the garden.
This is my backyard. The idea is to grow what I call a food forest. It has become more than just a food forest as I've learned more about it. So also thinking about not just food for me, but also trying to build a home for the wildlife and trying to make sure that I'm listening to what the land here wants and trying to heal what was hurting when I first moved to this place. So I'm growing plants that can be food, but there's also plants that support the soil, sort of fixing nitrogen to the soil or getting other nutrients from the ground that help to make the soil more nourished. There's ones that are what I call ground covers, which helps to cover the ground so that it stays more moist. There's plants that support the pollinators specifically. There's plants that are habitat for wildlife. So there's a whole lot of diversity in the garden. I mean, when you're gardening, there's a lot of different things that happen. So, I mean, you're reconnecting with the earth in a way that I think we're very disconnected from. And I think that disconnection provides a lot of distress for a lot of people, even if they're not fully aware of it, because they can feel that things are not right, but they don't have a sense of like what to do about that. There's a lot of research that has been coming out, especially in the last 5 to 10 years, that shows the significant benefits of time spent in nature and in green spaces. People who are located closer to green spaces have better mental health. We know that very clearly. Earth wants to do things in a certain way, and there are certain principles that Earth works, and so when we use those principles, we actually are working with nature. And so we actually require less inputs, and we get more abundance as a result of that. So it's about how do we find that interaction there that works, that I'm part of this ecosystem. I'm not an observer of it, but I'm also not in control of it either, and sort of what's the balance there. So permaculture, I mean, it comes from the idea of trying to have a different ethics towards things. So our typical ethics, we often think about what's good for humans, but permaculture comes from the place of also thinking about what is good for the planet as well, and that includes the animals, and then also thinking about what's good for the future generations. When we're making decisions, we might think about our children or our grandchildren, but very rarely do we think about 7 generations down. But that's certainly also an indigenous kind of concept as well. And I think that if we made our decisions based on what the 7th generation is going to think about, we would actually do things quite differently than we do.
Thank you, Nate, for inviting us into your garden. Check out our podcast episode with Nate to learn more about his healing garden and the benefits of gardening on your mental health.